Fear and electromagnetism. That is what we're going to be talking about today. So, fear, same thing. This is about worry. This is about anxiety. This is about stress. If those are something that pertain to you, then listen up because this is seriously affecting your life. So, what comes to you is what you focus on. And so if you have something that you are focusing on daily, some kind of fear, like, oh, I'm afraid that this thing's going to happen, that thing's going to happen, whatever it happens to be, what you're actually doing by allowing that fear, because we have free will, so it is a choice. I know it doesn't feel like it's a choice, but it is. And so as we allow those fears and those things, it is essentially like we're sending out, we are planting a consciousness seed. So think of your thoughts, all of your thoughts, like that they're seeds, and that when you're planting a seed, why do you plant it? Because you want something to grow, right? So you're not going to go through the garden and sprinkle weed seeds all throughout your garden, all throughout the beautiful crops that you have. You would never do that. Why wouldn't you do that? Because you know that if you plant weed seeds, you're going to get them. But we do this throughout a normal day, throughout our life, constantly, all day long. We're planting consciousness seeds through the thoughts that we allow into our life. So if these are fearful or worrisome thoughts, I want you to consider this for a moment. Do you believe that the divine is love? Think about that for a second. Do you believe that the divine is love? Okay, so if the divine is love, then can the divine be something other than what it is? It can't. Let's say that I have this color and this color is white. Okay, now can this color of white be purple or be blue or be black without me adding or changing it in some way? It can't. It can't be anything other than what it is. So the divine is just pure love. The divine is pure love. So when you are living in fear, you are not living according to, you're not living fully in that divine love. You are allowing something other than love to be there, to essentially take the place of love where love is supposed to be. Now, why would you do this? Well, of course, first of all, you wouldn't do it intentionally. It's there for a purpose and a reason, and it began at some point. So when I regress back my clients, sometimes maybe it started in the womb, maybe it started in infancy, maybe it started in childhood, maybe it started at school. There will always be some reason. I have never, ever had anyone go back and not be able to find why that's there. There was always a beginning of it. There was always a point in time when a consciousness seed of worry or doubt or fear or whatever it happened to be was planted in the psyche. There was a time when the seed was planted. Now, what happens when you plant a seed? Well, maybe immediately it's not going to sprout and it's not going to grow. And so let's say that seed was planted around 8 years old because somebody made some comment to you. Maybe it was a teacher, maybe it was a student, maybe it was a parent, maybe somebody said something to you that was hurtful and that was mean. Now, this caused you to think a little bit different, but what really happened there was a consciousness seed was planted. So it doesn't mean that the very next day you woke up and you just felt absolutely terrible about yourself. That could have been the case. This could have been an extreme thing, but seeds take time to grow. So at first they begin to sprout, but over time, what happens when you plant a little seed? It comes to fruition, and it just gets bigger and bigger. Like, what if it was a tree seed? How big is it going to get? So when we go back, what I do is I regress my clients back to the beginning when that seed was planted, and then we heal it, we change it, and we don't see it as something bad, because every perceivably bad thing. You know, there's no good or bad, but it's our thinking that makes it that way. It's our perspective that has us think that this bad thing happened to me. But when we shift our perspective, so that's what we do with hypnosis, is really what we're doing is healing. So if let's say that I regress somebody back, they get a lot of worry. Maybe they regress back to childhood and now they're worried, about what other people are thinking about them, or, whatever it happens to be. I would have them go back to that time. I would have them re-experience it. And then I would have their older self, them now, ask that little them, how can I help you? What can I do? And have them give them some comfort and some support and some feeling of peace, safety and love. We would add those elements into it, and we would just actually mentally heal whatever happened to have happened around that consciousness seed of, doubt, worry, stress, fear, blah, 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 whatever it happened to be. We would heal it. And we would have it be seen in a different perspective so that we could get the learning from it, the lesson from it. So let's say that you go back to childhood and something doesn't feel really good. Okay, well, you start feeling bad. You get worried or you get concerned about it. Well, why did that feeling come up around that in the first place? Well, the reason why it came up is because you intuitively knew, especially as a young child, that we are meant, things weren't meant to be that way, that we are meant to be living in love, that we're meant to be planting these consciousness seeds. So when, let's say a teacher or a student or a parent or a friend or somebody or whoever said something to you, or a bully, said something to you that was mean, oh, why did it hurt so bad? Why did it feel so bad? Well, it's because you intuitively knew, and that that's not the way that it's meant to be, that we're meant to be in love. This is why it's so damaging. This is why it hurts so bad, because we're like, oh, the place where I came from before I came here, it wasn't like this. This doesn't feel right. Then the human mind, the ego gets in the way, and it just takes over, and we start feeling bad about ourselves, and we think that we shouldn't have any confidence and that we shouldn't feel good about ourselves, and we'll give ourselves all these reasons, all these excuses, like, well, of course I shouldn't feel confident. I did this, horrible, shitty thing, or whatever I did, or, I had this bad thing, this thing done to me. And so I shouldn't feel, I shouldn't be confident. I don't deserve it. Maybe I'm overweight, or maybe I have this bad habit, or maybe I whatever. And so, until I, can fix that, I don't deserve confidence or to feel good about myself. Okay, so these proofs that we get of, here's some proof that I shouldn't feel good about myself because I did this thing. These proofs are beliefs. All they are beliefs. Now, beliefs are so important. They are so valuable because they essentially create and dictate our life. Not even essentially, they do. Those beliefs are in turn what become our visible reality. So here's the best thing, is that you can shift and change those beliefs at any point in time. And when you shift those, it might take a bit of time for your visible reality right in front of your very eyes to begin to change. But as you shift and you refuse to go back to that old way because you're invested in personal growth and spiritual growth, and you just are never going to go back to that old way again. Perhaps you're seeking, perfection in yourself. As you were going down that path, that perfection of pure love, so that all you want to do is just emit pure love in your life. As you do that, the visible reality in your life begins to shift and change in accordance with the beliefs that you now have. And because you're now expecting different things, you're getting them. These new expectations, these new things that you have, they become your home. Your home is behind your eyes. Your home is in your mind. That's where you live. You're always home. Now, if your home is not a pleasant place to be, if your home is all cluttered up with old, let's say, boxes, let's say you got old file boxes in there, things people said to you, things people did to you, and they're just in there and they're just taking up space and energy. You could imagine that, you've got this big warehouse, and it's your mind, it's your home, Now, some people's homes, they're organized, they're clean, they're beautiful, and other people's homes are not. They're disorganized. There's old stuff that they don't need it anymore. There's junk laying around that just needs to be thrown out. This is the same for our minds. Sometimes we got a lot of junk going on, and what is happening with that junk is energy. And it actually takes energy to use your thoughts to do anything. It takes energy. So what happens when you clear out all of that old stuff that you were giving your energy to? Oh, well, all of a sudden you've got excess. You've got excess energy. So you're sleeping better, you're feeling better, you're thinking better things about yourself, you're thinking things that uplift you rather than drag you down in the dumps. And so you can feel an energetic shift in your body. Well, what goes along with this? Well, if all of a sudden you've got more energy, then you are going to start doing the things that you've been wanting to do. If you were putting things off, if you're a big procrastinator, or something along those lines, let's say that you've got projects that you've been wanting to do and you're just not doing them. You're not doing them because you don't have the energy. And the reason why you don't have the energy is because of your mind. It's because of your beliefs. It's because of the thoughts that you allow, that you have given yourself permission to dwell on or to think about. So how do we get rid of those? First of all, we have to heal them. And let me tell you, if you think about these things, anything regularly, anything negative, it's because it's not healed. If it pops into your mind and it doesn't feel good, it's because it's not healed. Now, you might think like, oh, well, I don't think about this thing anymore. Okay, well, whatever just popped into your mind right there that you say that you don't think about anymore, you do, because you just thought about it right there. And so it does still bother you. So I've been there, where I was like, oh, this thing doesn't bother me. Well, that's because, maybe we did refuse to look at it. So sometimes we need to temporarily, in a subconscious state, go back, revisit those things, heal them, and then move forward. So like with my clients, so like, oh, we're going to dredge up things that happened, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 years ago. We are. I'm not going to tell you to recall anything specific. It's your mind that is going to direct this. So whatever happens to pop up needed to pop up, whatever came to your mind needed to come to mind. Now, here's the thing. We're not going to sit in it and dredge it up and not do anything about it. No. We're going to sit in it. We're going to feel it. We're going to let it go. Heal it. Release it. So that when we move forward in life, we feel lighter and freer and happier, and that old thing that was sitting there, that old filing cabinet of information that was telling you subconscious negative things about yourself is cleared out. We don't need those old files. I think about all the files from my clients and I think, what a waste. What a waste of paper. What a waste of space. I don't need any of those files. And you can look at your mind as like the old filing cabinet system, totally inefficient. We don't need it. It's taking up too much space. And what do we need those files from 7, 8, 20, 40, 60 years ago for anymore? We don't need them. So with the help of this mental cleanse series that I have out on my channel, you can do this subconscious work for free. Subconscious work versus conscious work is effective. It is effective. There's been studies that have been done. 93% recovery rate. A 93, that's huge, percent recovery rate after 6 hypnosis sessions. I find my clients, they don't even need it. They don't need that many. Most people come to me for three sessions. That's what they come for. We're going to go in, we're going to do the work, we're going to go deep. It's going to take some time. We're going to go in there, we're going to clean house. Then we're going to do it again. Then we're going to do it again. And I can see the shift in my clients. It's visible. It's visible. When they walk in, I can feel it. I can see how they feel compared to the first time that they came in. First time, usually people come in, they're nervous. right? They don't know what to expect. Most people haven't, experienced a hypnosis session before. So they come in, they tell me, oh, they're nervous. And I'm like, you know what? Don't worry. Within, 5 minutes, you're not going to be nervous. You're going to feel great. We do some heavy duty work, and it is heavy duty. It's deep emotional work. This is what we're clearing out because our emotions are so powerful. And as we send them out into the universe, especially when they haven't been dealt with, then we get them back. Our thoughts, our electrical thoughts, they're being sent out, and then these things are going to be returned back to us. So it's so important to deal with emotional stuff and to do the emotional work so that, these things aren't dictating your life, and that you're not storing this toxic negative energy inside of your body that is attracting to you all the things that you don't want in your life. No, when we clear those things out, then you attract the things that you do want, because there's no subconscious filter going out, filtering everything that comes out of your mouth, every thought that goes through, all the actions that you take. It just changes, it shifts things. So recently here, but this has been kind of a theme that I've had. I have met several people here who have died several times. So I'm always so curious, like, what was that experience like? And, telling me these experiences that they've had. And now one, my friend here, she died 3 times. 3 times. And each time her experience, after death, and those minutes, however long it was that she was dead for, were completely different. I just thought that was super, interesting. So I had been working with an NDE client, like a near-death experience client, 7, 8 years ago, something like that. So she comes to me, and she had told me that, she'd had this near-death experience, and blah, blah, I don't remember what happened. Anyways, we then do a session, and in this session, so really often I will take people to either this place of light, which is just made of pure divine love, or I'll do things like that. I'll just throw these things into the session because I'm like, oh, this person needs some peace in their life. They need whatever it is. I'll take them on a bit of a spiritual journey, no matter what we're working on. So I take this lady to this place of peace. And she said that it was almost the same as what she had experienced in her death experience, that there's this light and that there's this peace that is all around it. So everybody comes back and they've got these stories about going to the light, and they've got the, things. So I know from my experiences of the enlightenments that I've had and that I have regularly, that illumination, it is actual light that comes to your brain. So we don't need to wait to die. We don't need to have an NDE to be able to experience this. What we need to do is to be able to mentally cleanse away all of the shit from the past that is separating us from that divine love. So anything that causes tension or tightness in your body, that causes you to push away. So this could be angry thoughts, jealousy, judgments, criticism, resentment, wanting to get vengeance on somebody, any of those negative thoughts. Just think about that. Think about the tension that comes into your body, and it tenses up. And when you tense up, so does the divine. It cannot penetrate. So it's very similar to, so I don't know if you guys know this, but you should be drinking. I read this book called The Many Cries of Your Body for Water, written by a doctor who claims that he has healed so many, like thousands of patients, because they were chronically dehydrated. And so what he says is to drink 8 to 10 ounce glasses of water with a little pinch of sea salt, so the equivalent of about a half a teaspoon or something like that, over all of those glasses throughout the day. So literally just a few grains of salt, sea salt in your water. Why? Because if your body does not have sodium and potassium, then the cells in your body cannot absorb the hydration that they need to absorb. They can't absorb it. They push it away. It's like it's, created a barrier around the outside of the cell. And so what happens, your body creates hypertension. It creates pressure so that it can force the hydration into your cells. So what do doctors do? Well, they're going to give you medication. And what is this medication? It's a diuretic. So it actually increases the dehydration problem. But all you need to do is have potassium, so just eat a banana, and have a bit of sodium in that water so that your cells can relax and open and the hydration can actually go into them. So this is like our body. Think of your body working with the divine. If we don't have salt and we don't have potassium, then we can't allow that hydration in. Okay, so if we have any tension, tightness in our body, think of it the same way. It's pushing the divine away. It can't, and it doesn't want to. The divine is just right there, just waiting for you to open up so it can flow in. But until those elements are there of, love, calm and peace, openness, and until the ego, has gotten out of the way, the divine can't flow into your body, just like the water, that hydration can't flow into your cells if the proper elements aren't there. So if you notice throughout your day, here's an exercise that you can do today. So just go through your day and notice what thoughts pop into your mind and what it feels like physically in your body when you have certain thoughts. And then if you have any thoughts that cause anything, that cause any kind of physical reaction in your body other than love, then these are something that need to be addressed if you want the divine to flow into your life. You have to get the mind out of the way. This is why, meditation is important, because in that time, essentially all you are doing is getting rid of your ego. You're getting rid of the thoughts that are keeping the divine from you. So when you meditate, all essentially that you are doing is getting out of the way, getting your mind out of the way so that the divine can flow in. And so if you actively do this through your free will, if you're choosing over and over every day that this is what you want, that you want the divine love to be flowing, this pure love to be flowing into your life, then using your free will, you need to make these choices to not indulge in the negativity, in the old ways of thinking and doing and feeling and being, like the judgments and the criticisms that are coming from your ego. Because all that these judgments and criticisms are is unawarenesses of self that you don't like. So if you see something in somebody else and you don't like it, it's because you do it. It's because you do it. If it really, really bothers you, this person does it, it's because there's this little part in you that you have not acknowledged, that you have not been aware of. That's why it bothers you so much. If you know that these things about yourself aren't true, then, it doesn't bother you. Like if I said to you, you're a liar. Okay, well, if that really, really bothered you, then you're probably a liar. But if it almost makes you want to laugh, like, okay, buddy, then it's not true, or that person is aware of that in themselves and it doesn't bother them anymore. But if you get really defensive about something, number one sign, 100% of the time, if you get super defensive about something, it's because it's something that you do, that you're unaware that you're doing. So take a really honest look at your life and at yourself, because as soon as you're aware of it, of like, oh yeah, maybe there is this element in me, accept it. Don't be mad at it. Don't try to fight it and be like, I don't want to feel this way. No, that's the worst thing you could do. Just feel it and accept it. And then all of a sudden you're not that way anymore because you're aware of it. And so you consciously, through your free will, choose to take different actions or thoughts or speak different words or whatever it happens to be. But until we're aware of these things, we're blind to them. It reminds me of being in a relationship, in a bad relationship. Everybody sees it from the outside. Everybody can see it, but you'll even defend it. You'll be like, but they, do this because of this. You'll make excuses. You'll do all of these things because you don't want to see it. but then all of a sudden one day you do see it, and you're like, why didn't you guys tell me? And I was like, we've been telling you for years, man. But the timing's always right. The timing's always divine. We become aware of things at the exact right moment, not a moment too early, not a moment later, at the exact right moment, and it's always the right time. Anyways, I have got a day here planned. This is a Saturday for me, and I'm headed off to another city. Things I got to go pick up, some stuff I got to do. Got a fun night planned with a friend. But I love you guys. Thought I would pop on here, do a little message before I head off for the weekend. I hope that you guys have the most wonderful day, whatever day it happens to be when this is uploaded. And I will talk to you guys in the next video. Take care. Love to you all. See you in the next one.